everybody, how are you doing today? Welcome to another Nutrition Tuesday with the GTHL. My name is Seanna Thomas and I am a nutritionist. My company is called Hockey Snacks and we provide fresh and healthy snacks plus nutrition education to teams and tournaments throughout the GTA and nationwide online right now. We've paired up with the GTHL and this is our Recipe Tuesday, our Nutrition Tuesday, where we provide you with a recipe. We've been doing it for a few weeks now and we've been getting some really great feedback. So we love hearing from you guys. So head on over to Hockey Snacks, give us a follow. If you have any questions, you can message me there. I'm happy to answer any of your questions. You can, of course, always submit them to the GTHL as well, and I'll get back to you that way. We love hearing them. We love hearing how you're making our recipes. If you ever make something and post it online, please tag Hockey Snacks or the GTHL because we do love seeing them. Today we are making a quinoa bowl. Now before you guys run away and say, I don't like quinoa, I really do urge you to try it. If you've never tried quinoa before, it's similar to rice and a great replacement for rice. And the reason that I love quinoa so much is because it's a complete protein, which means it contains all of the amino acids that your body can't can't make itself. But it's really easy to digest. It's so good for you. Not only is it a complete protein, it also contains iron, a whole host of vitamins and minerals and absolute great stuff, plus fiber. So this is a really, really great food to have waiting for you as a post-game recovery meal. Or you can have it as a meal as long as you have at least, I would say, 2 to 3 hours to digest it. And also depends what you add on top. If there's lots of high fiber, high protein items, you're going to want to give your body more time to digest that. But it is really great, like I said, as a post-game or post-activity recovery meal. And you don't need to add meat, which is one of the great things. So if you're thinking about doing that meatless meal or meatless Mondays, quinoa is an excellent option because you're getting all of those amino acids, which are really great to help your muscles repair, recover, and grow. So let's get to our quinoa bowl here. Now first, the main ingredient, of course, the bottom of the bowl is quinoa. If you really tried it and you don't like it, you can of course replace it with rice, you could replace it with buckwheat, couscous, pasta, all of these different items. If you've ever gone out to a restaurant and seen, Buddha bowls, or as we like to call them, booyah bowls, that's what this is. And it's basically, I love it because for me, it gets rid of all of the leftovers in my fridge, but you can get really creative and use so many different items to put on top of it. Another great reason that I like this is as a family meal. It's almost like a taco night. Everyone has their same base, and then you can have all these different options to choose from to top your bowl with. The only thing that I recommend is you make it as colorful as possible. You're getting all those delicious vegetables and the vitamins and the minerals from that as well. And then we're gonna make a delicious sauce that goes on top of it. And that is a key component to these quinoa bowls. Quinoa also comes in many different colors, but the nutritional properties are all the same. You can find little baby quinoa, you can find red, black quinoa, or this one I have here is just the regular it's a white quinoa, regular quinoa, all good for you, all the same, all cooked the same. And my quinoa here is already cooked. You can cook it like rice, where you're waiting for the water completely to evaporate, and then your quinoa is nice and fluffy. You can also cook it like pasta. You just have to keep an eye on it, and as soon as it's ready, and you can kind of keep trying it to make sure it's not too hard or too soft, then you just drain it like pasta through a sieve, and then you can fluff it up afterwards. So it actually is an even easier way to cook your quinoa. So now that we have that out of the way, we're gonna start building our quinoa bowl. And like I said, you can top it with whatever you want. If you wanna do a Mexican theme, you could do black bean and corn and all of that good stuff. If you wanted to do like a Greek theme, you could do olives and cucumber and tomato and all of that stuff. Just pick one thing and go with it. And if not, just pick what you like and throw it on there, which is kind of what I'm doing today. So we all eat with our eyes first. So I always like to make it look especially nice. So we're starting with this really nice bowl. And we're gonna add our quinoa to it. Now quinoa, like I said, it's like rice, almost like a sticky rice. It's a little bit sticky, and that's okay. And we're gonna add about maybe a cup of our cooked quinoa in here, cup and a half, and we're gonna spill a little bit, but that's okay. So we have that in there, okay? And we'll move this off to the side. And we have that as our base of our bowl. And now we're just gonna start loading up delicious vegetables on top of it. And like I said, it's a complete protein, so you don't need to add meat. That doesn't mean you can't add meat. If you have some leftover chicken or even hard boil some eggs, you could throw that on top, definitely, and it's so, so good. What I'm adding today is some things that I had left over in my fridge, and then just some other components that I really enjoy eating in a quinoa bowl. So we're gonna start here with, I had these roasted cherry tomatoes that I had in my freezer. So if you have a bunch of frozen vegetables, just so you know, they're equally as nutritious as fresh vegetables, because a lot of frozen vegetables are flash frozen at the site, which means on the farm. So it's picked at its peak ripeness and then frozen in that state. So it's maintaining all of those nutrients right in the vegetable, and it's packed right there. So don't worry about if you're adding frozen vegetables to this, because really you're getting a great nutritional profile. So these were frozen, but these were a roasted cherry tomato, which I absolutely love. So actually I'm going to use this spoon here, and we're going to add a whole bunch of those. Now if you like tomatoes, but you like, fresh tomatoes, then you can of course just dice up a tomato and add it in. And in fact, that's what we're gonna do now. I'm gonna add some red onion. Now I love red onion because of the flavor. If you don't like onion, you don't have to add it, but you could add a green onion or a sweet onion in its place. I really like red onion because I just think it is, it's one of those just vibrant, fresh flavors. And to me, tomato and onion are a match made in heaven. So I'm definitely gonna add some sliced red onion here. We don't want too much because I still want to be able to talk to people a little bit later, but we're going to put that there. And I just love the color of red onion, and like I said, I love the freshness of it. It is so, so good. And we're just going to move all this off to the side here. All right, so we have our tomato and our onion, and we're going to add some cucumber. Now these are cucumber rounds that were left over from our lunch with my kids. So we're just going to slice those up into little sticks. You can add just big chunks of fruit or vegetables or whatever you've got going on in there. But I like to chop everything up so you can get a little bit of everything in a bite. We have some leftover red pepper, which we're going to add as well. And I absolutely really like the color, like the red and the yellow and the orange peppers. I think that they're just so vibrant in color, great flavor, really good for you. The brighter the vegetable, the more vitamins and minerals in it for you. And that goes with, dark leafy greens to bright red peppers and tomatoes. We've got broccoli here and all that stuff. So the brighter color the vegetable, the better it is for you. So definitely keep that in mind. The next time you're allowed to go to a grocery store, look around the produce and whatever catches your eye, pick one up, try it, see how you like it. Because a lot of the time, when you try something new, you might end up liking it. So you have to give yourself, a little bit of credit and try. We're gonna add some broccoli here, some nice bright green steamed broccoli. And look, it's almost completely full. If you like a crunch in there, I've shredded up some lettuce sometime and just put it on top. That's a great option too. Here I have a leftover bean dip, which we could add instead of our sauce. If you had a hummus or something like that, you could totally put that on as well. One of my favorite elements is avocado. So we're gonna take this little avocado here and we are going to open this guy up. So you just wanna go around the pit, twist and open that up. And we are going to just slice a little bit of that. And we're gonna spoon that out into our bowl here, and we'll put that right there on the side, just a little bit of it here. We don't want to have all of this. a little bit of that avocado. Healthy fats are really important, right? So you have your quinoa with the protein, you've got all of your healthy carbohydrates from the vegetables here, and you always want to add in a little bit of that healthy fat. That's that stored energy that your body's going to access after it uses all of that quick access energy from the carbohydrates. The protein and the healthy fat are equally as important when it comes to energy and replacing those energy stores as well. So if you're having this as a post-game recovery meal, having carbohydrates to replace that energy that you just lost along with that fat, and then the protein to use for your muscles, this has everything in it. That's why I love it as a post-activity recovery meal. It is really just excellent. So that's all I'm going to add to this one. Super simple, right? We've got a ton of really colorful veggies. I usually like to add some orange. I didn't have any roasted squash or some carrots on hand, so we decided to add more red today. So we have our red tomatoes, we have our green from our vegetables, we have some of that purple red onion there as well, and we're gonna get going on our sauce. Now you can use, like I said, whatever you want. In fact, I have this really great dressing from Chosen Foods. It's made with avocado oil, so I really like it. That's the base of it. They make a whole bunch of them. But I particularly like this one just because I find it goes with everything, no matter what kind of vegetables or toppings that you put on your quinoa bowl. They've got one. This one's called Baja Goddess. So, I mean, how can that be bad, right? But let's make our own dressing. I'm going to show you how to make a really delicious, wonderful dressing. You guys can do this yourself. You can ask your parents for help. You might have some of these ingredients at home, and I'll tell you a few different ways that you can substitute other ingredients as well. But the sauce really makes it, okay? And like I said, you have to use what you've got, right? Use what you've got in your fridge. If there's a sauce you really like that you want to put on there, go ahead. If you're not a sauce person, you can just eat it like that as well. But we are going to make a tahini lime sauce to go on top, and this is really, really delicious. Now, if you're wondering what tahini is, it's a sesame seed paste. So it's almost like a sesame seed peanut butter, if that makes sense, right? So like a nut butter made from sesame seeds. Anyway, we're gonna add about a 1/4 cup of this. And you can see sometimes it's a little bit firmer. It has like hard spots in it where it's all kind of glued together in there, but it is so good. And if you're not allergic to peanuts, you could use peanut butter in its place. You can make a peanut lime sauce as well. So if you don't have tahini, you can use any kind of nut butter in its place. And what we're going to do is add some acidity to it to really brighten up the flavor. So we are adding lime juice and rice vinegar to this. Now, I would use fresh limes, but I didn't have any on hand, and because we are currently in a pandemic, I didn't want to run to the store just to get a lime. So you'll understand when I say use what you've got, right? I'm doing the same thing. So we're adding maybe about a teaspoon of lime juice. Now this you can freehand because you can taste it as you go, and you can add a little more acidity, you can add some other ingredients depending on what you like. But we're gonna add another teaspoon of this rice vinegar, and this is really our acidic component. Now any kind of salad dressing usually has an oil component and an acid component, so we are adding that here. This doesn't have any oil in it, but there is oil in the sesame seed paste, so that is where we're getting that from. So we're just whisking that together, and it gets kind of clumpy, which is totally fine. We're gonna add a little bit of saltiness. Now you could just add salt, but we're gonna add some soy sauce. So about a teaspoon or so of that. And to sweeten it up a little bit, we're gonna add some honey. So 1/4 cup of tahini, and then about a teaspoon each of lime juice, rice vinegar, soy sauce, and honey, just to sweeten it up a little bit. And we're gonna whisk all that together, and then we're gonna add just water to thin it out to the consistency that we like. So this way you can make it exactly how you want it. Now you might recognize tahini if you make your own hummus at home. It is typically an ingredient that is in hummus. So a lot of you might have it in your house for that reason, or perhaps you use it in baking, or you're making sauces with it. Who knows? Lots of people have it in their house, but like I said, you can always make a nut butter lime sauce too, which is perfectly fine. And there you go. So then you can taste it and see if you need to add a little bit more lime juice, a little bit more salt. Oh, that is so, so good, just like that. So we have here our bowl. And we are going to just drizzle this on top, just like that. I'm not adding all of this, but if I had my whole family making Buddha bowls, then this would be more than enough for everybody. So there we have that. And because we, like I said, eat with our eyes, I like to make it look really, really nice. So I have some sesame seeds, and we're just going to sprinkle that over the top. And like I said, if you like a bit of crunch, you can chop up some lettuce and put it on top. Or if you have, later on in the summer, if you're growing anything in your garden, you can grab some fresh herbs or, anything really, and just toss it on top. And it is so, so good for you. So like I said, if you're just tuning in now, we're making this delicious quinoa bowl. In the bottom here, we have about a cup and a half of quinoa, cooked quinoa, and we've added some of my favorite ingredients, which are roasted tomatoes, red onion, cucumber, red pepper, broccoli, avocado, and then we've made our tahini lime dressing, which is tahini, lime, rice vinegar, soy sauce, and honey. We thinned it out with a little bit of water, no added oil, and we've drizzled that on top and topped it with a little bit of sesame seeds. So great as a post-game recovery meal. If you guys have any questions about any of this, please get in touch. Go give Hockey Snacks a follow, message me there. If you're looking for the recipe, the GTHL does have this on their site right now, but I'm happy to answer any questions that you have. So that is it for our Nutrition Tuesday today. I hope you guys enjoyed this recipe, and we'll be back next Tuesday with another great recipe for you guys. So please make sure you mark your calendar for 3:30 every Tuesday and meet us here. We've got a lot of great stuff coming up for you guys, so stay tuned. It's going to be awesome. Thank you, and let me show you this a little bit closer, and then we are out.